All right. So, thanks for being on the call, everybody. Um, and for those that aren't on the call, we expect you to watch this. And when you do, let your upline coach know that you watched it, so that we can give you some kudos and if you have any questions and whatnot of the stuff that I'm going to go over. It's Mike, obviously. Um, but yeah, I wanted to host this call. It's going to be one of the last calls, I guess, maybe the last call. I don't know, of 2014. So we need to get ready for 2015 and take Noble Team to new heights and greatness that we all know is coming sooner than later. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about goals, setting goals, and feel free to stop me if you guys have anything you wanted to add to it. But basically, when I'm doing my goals, um, first off, I always write them down. That way, and keep them close so you can, go back and review them later. So I would recommend you guys do that if you don't already. Besides that, um, I recommend that you use the SMART system, which is what I had mentioned in the event page. And if you get a chance, if you watch that Success Club silly video that I did for Coach Basics, in there I talk about SMART goals, what they all mean, and how they relate to Success Club, which I think is a good goal for everybody to have who wants to grow their business for a number of reasons. And I explained it in that video. But I just wanted to go over tonight basically what the letters stand for, what they mean to me, and how you can apply it to your business and use it to write your own goals and reach those goals next year. So jumping right in, basically the acronym is SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So the S stands for specific. So what this means to me is basically when you're writing out your goals, be specific. I can't say that word. Be specific when you're writing your goals down to the point where don't just say, I want to advance in rank, or don't just say, and it kind of applies to your fitness goals too. I want to lose weight, or, I want to get in better shape. I mean, those are good goals to have, but, to light a fire under yourself and solidify these goals, you need to be specific about them. So, for example, advancing to the next rank, I want to advance to emerald, to ruby, to diamond, whatever that specific goal for you is. If it's a monetary goal, $200 a week, $1,000 a month, whatever the case is, that's something that you need to write down, not just, I want to make more money with the business. So be very specific. Um, and the reason that you want to be very specific is because the M stands for measurable. So you're going to want to measure your goals and see how you're progressing. In the video, I talk about how, Success Club, either you hit it or you're not. So it's easy to measure. Now, with goals like picking up rank or things like that, until you get there, you're still able to measure it. Uh, Basically, you want to be heading in the right direction. So whatever the goal is, like I said, if it's a monetary goal, if you were making 200 a week and now all of a sudden you're making 100 a week, whatever the case is, that's something that you can measure and something that you can look at and say, okay, something's not right here. I need to tweak this, that, the other to get you going back on the right path. So make sure they're specific and they're measurable. Achievable is the A in the SMART. Now, some people are going to say, and this is where you could really shoot yourself in the foot. I think so. Our theme with Beachbody this past year has been never give up, which is great. But I like the theme from the year before, which was dream big. And I've seen it with my own two eyes this year that, the bigger you dream, the better. We had a local coach here, Andrea Crowder. Some of you may follow her on Facebook. If not, you should, because she's fantastic. Andrea went from, and just in this last year, 2014, Andrea went from a 3-star diamond to a 15-star diamond. She's 15-star qualifying right now. So you can't tell me that it's not possible. This is somebody that I stood next to and gave training at Super Saturday with. She's not like some, you know, top coach Lindsay Matway, like, oh, you know, not a real person kind of thing, you know. I mean, it's the way I look at it. If Andrea can do it, I can do it. You can do it. Anybody on this call or watching this video later, you can do it. So achievable. The bigger you dream, yeah, the bigger you dream, the better, in my opinion. So, I mean, like the quote says, you know, if you're not dreaming, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. I totally believe that. I've got some that scare the crap out of me. So I assume I'm on the right track. The R in SMART is relevant. And for this, I mean, obviously, if these are your, you know, business goals or whatever, I mean, it's going to be relevant to your business. But the one thing that I would give you as a takeaway is align your goals to your business. I know we all have different personalities. You know, some of us are pearls, some of us are sapphires, rubies, whatever the case is. If you don't know what your personality type is, let us know. We have a little quiz we can give you, and we'll figure it out real quick. But basically, what it boils down to is what people are encouraged by, you know, spurred on by. Some folks want the rank. They want to be able to say, I'm a 15-star diamond. Some folks could care less about rank. You know, they want to just like replace their income. They want to, you know, retire from whatever they're doing, and, you know, do Beachbody full time. So, having said that, you know, make sure whatever your goals are when you're writing them out, they are relevant to you. They fit with you, your lifestyle, and basically what you want out of this business. Now, I will say that some of these kind of go hand in hand. You know, you may not want the rank necessarily, but a 15-star diamond coach is, you know, pretty much a guaranteed 6-figure coach. So if money's your thing, then they kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, make it relevant to you and what you want out of this business. And the last one, the T in SMART, is time bound. Now, when I'm writing out my goals, basically, you know, I'm putting a date to it. Me and Molly have talked about this. What is it, Molly? 5-star diamond by 5/15/15, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Put dates to these things. And the reason is again, when you're measuring it, you know, when you're measuring these specific goals, you're going to be able to see, like, am I getting close to my goal because the days are ticking away, things like that. And when the time comes, if you don't hit it, then, you know, like I wanted to be a 2-star by December 31st. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'm not quitting or giving up, but I may have to tweak that, change those dates a little bit, you know, reevaluate what's going on and make some changes. So put a date to it. And a tip for you guys is what I do is I do short-term, midterm, and long-term goals. Now, short-term for me is like basically this first quarter of 2015. So basically between the first Super Saturday and the second Super Saturday, so January to April, that's going to be my short-term goal. So I'm looking to, personally, it's a rank advancement, two actually, 2-star diamond by the second Super Saturday of the year. I'm announcing it here, so you guys got to hold me to it. But then I have a midterm goal, which for me would be somewhere around summer, fall, you know, middle of the year kind of thing. And then long term is basically I'm looking at where do I want to be a year from now when we have this call and we're talking about our goals for 2016, and we have, you know, 1,500 coaches on this call, wink, wink, you know, then basically where do I want to be a year from now? So that's pretty much it. For me, pretty short and sweet, but I think there's some serious power in writing down your goals, keeping that list where you can see it, so you know you track it often. One other tip that I wanted to give you guys, if you haven't done, I think January is a good time to do it. Chalene Johnson's push, 30-day push. Molly's nodding her head. I think Chuck's done it already. It's good for talking about goal setting. Also, doing your to-do list, your daily to-do list. There's some kind of eat that frog type stuff in there where she makes you break things down to, okay, my goal is this. So what should I do first on my list today? What's the most important thing that I can do today that will get me to, one step closer to my goal? And it's kind of like the compound effect where, if you do that every day, you know, over time, that stuff's going to add up. I'm throwing some good personal development stuff out here at you guys too. If you haven't read or listened to the compound effect, you need to. So that's basically it for me. Greg, Molly, Charles, if you guys have anything to add, I'm opening it up to you guys.
I guess I'm the only one that's unmuted, so. No, I think it's really important, just like you said, I had a goal to retire from my job. But I think one of the important things is, I started talking to my wife and we start to, work with your families and everything. Make sure that your goal is in line with everything else. And when we talked, and my daughter's going to college, and so we decided maybe the retirement needs to be more focused on getting my daughter through school and everything. So things can change. I mean, just because you have one goal, like my goal, or, when I first started this business, I was like, hey, I can make a few extra dollars doing this. I love P90X and everything, and it's transitioned into, life-changing event, to think, hey, I'm going to be doing this to pay for my daughter's college 4 years ago. That was never in my wildest imagination. So just because your goal today, just because you have a goal today doesn't mean that goal is not going to change. So stick with it. We all have different measurements, just because some of us here want to retire from our jobs doing this doesn't mean that has to be your goal. It could be, hey, I just want to help one person a month. I just want to pay for my Shakeology. Each person has a different level of success. So don't feel like, oh, I have to keep up with everybody if that doesn't relate relate to you. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I set a new long-term goal. I think, Mike, I told you, Greg, I don't know if I told you, but during my husband's deployment this time, they kind of screwed him into signing another contract. So he's going to be 3 more years here. So that has made me, like, my goal now is that 3 years from now, when it comes time for him to sign another contract, he's going to tell them to go pound sand, and we're going to move back to Pennsylvania on my Beachbody money. That is what my new goal is, which it's kind of hard for me, not because he's not supportive, because he is, but he doesn't feel that it's like a realistic thing to think about. But I don't give a shit what he says. I'm going to do it, and that's all there is to it, because I don't want to live down here anymore. I want to have family, and I want us to be close to our family, and the only way he's not going to do this is if we move home. And if I bust my hump and save up all of our money while we're down here, if I'm making, that 15-star income, then we'll have plenty of money that we can move back to Pennsylvania, build a house. He doesn't have to worry about, signing another contract. He can do whatever in the world he wants to do. And so that's my new goal. So 3 years from this past November 1st. So you've heard it. Now you all have to hold me to it. Every single one of you.
Awesome.
Great. I'm trying to think. No, I was just gonna say I liked what Greg said too, because like if you look at my goals, the very first one I have is basically for 2015, I want to help 60 people. So basically 5 a month. So I think that's important. The more people we help, the more our business is going to grow. It just goes hand in hand. So if if you look at it that way, so that might be a good goal for everybody. Think about, how many people you want to reach out to, whether it's helping them physically or with the business, whatever the case may be. But that's this all goes hand in hand. I mean, that's our core mission statement. That's who we are, what we do. And then you can just kind of go from there. Okay, if I help however many people a month, then where will that get me with the business and whatnot? But also, like Greg said, take your family into account. I keep getting in trouble because I'm on my phone too much. So, put things in there in your goals, like a date night every 2 weeks, something like that. So happy family, happy life. So think about that too. So don't make all your goals just about money. Don't be Ebenezer Scrooge, so to speak.
My wife is sitting over here, and she said, "That's for sure." So awesome. I think the only other thing that I'd say is, I think all 5 of us here, if anyone ever has a question or concerns or just needs a little bit of support, we're all here to help out. So always reach out. That's why we have a team. That's why we have the community. That's really what it's about. I saw I have an article posting tonight on my Facebook page talking about the obesity in the country, and it's not going the right direction. From last year, it's gone up almost 2%. So we have a lot of work to do. I mean, it's scary. After 4 years, I was hoping the number would start going down, and it's not. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Make sure that you're talking to people and let them know what you do. That's really, really important. So that's everything I have.
That reminds me of one more thing. Thank you, Greg, because you keep spurring things in my brain. New coaches, if you're a new coach and you're watching this, or if you're a coach who's been kind of stuck for a while, a lot of the objections I get from my coaches is the fact that they don't feel comfortable talking to people because they're not at their goal yet, fitness wise, physically wise. And I have 2 words for you: Richard Neal. Go to YouTube when you get a chance. Look up Richard Neal. I believe it's called Richard Neal Saves Tennessee, something along those lines. Richard Neal was the $100,000 Beachbody winner 2 years ago, so 2012, and amazing guy. But what Richard did was he became an active coach before he lost his 140 pounds or whatever the case is. I think it was like 146.
242.
I'm sorry, 242. Huge difference. Thank you. So what Richard did, and he talks about it in that video, he said that I, basically threw myself out there and told folks, listen, I have a long way to go and I need some help. So I want, kind of like me and Molly just did with talking about our goals and talking about, hold us accountable. That's what Richard did with his coaching business. And next thing you know, well, not next thing you know, it was like 18 months later, 242 pounds down, and he was the overall male winner for the Team Beachbody, the Beachbody Challenge. I mean, he talks in there, the money was second to everything that came from, his experience or whatever. But so that's my recommendation to you. If you feel like, well, I can't talk to people, I can't, promote Beachbody, things like that, because I'm not, where I'm at, invite them along for the ride. Tell them, that's what, I'm going to the top of a mountain, as Eric Worre talks about. another personal development thing for you guys. GoPro, my number two. You know, I'm going to the top of the mountain. Who's coming with me? I'm not coming back down. You're either going to find me dead on the side, you know, but I'm going to the top. So that's the way you guys should be. That's the way you should approach your business. You know, I think everybody on this call right now and everybody watching are going to agree. Even if you're in great shape, you know, you're not done yet. I don't think we're ever done, you know. So we're all works in progress. So as long as you're working on the progress, you know, again, with the whole measurable thing, you're heading in the right direction, you know, invite people along for the ride, bring them along with us. We're a great group of folks, you know, so invite them along. That's it again for me.